Awesome. Hi everybody, so good to see you all here. My name is Saskia, I'm the part MC and coordinator for today, and I'd just like to start by acknowledging we are on the stolen land of the Wathaurong people, and I pay my respects to elders, past, present and emerging, knowing sovereignty has not been ceded. Also in this time I asked all to keep our friends in the Jabberung Embassy close to our hearts and urge you to do all you can to show your support. Be that through... You can do things such as donating money, donating supplies, going down to protest, and if you can't make it, even just sharing as much information as you can on social media is very helpful as well. Just to go through some housekeeping as well, we have exits down this way and obviously out this way, toilets to our sides as well. We have our media corner right down the end and to the left. Awesome. And also a massive thanks to Trades Hall for lending us your space and being so supportive of all of this every time. And also thanks so much for the barbecue as well, that's awesome. Alrighty, so here poses the question, why do you care about climate justice? I urge you all to come back to the roots of why you care and really re-inspire yourselves today. Personally, I'm very grateful that I've been raised to see the environment as a being that deserves as much respect as me. And so to never just be entitled to it, but rather have a give back what you take and nurture where you can kind of attitude. A little bit hippie, I know. And now that we're in a state of actual climate crisis, I feel as though it is my personal responsibility to do everything I can to restore our environment to a healthy and thriving state. I'm sure we all do things such as use beeswax instead of Glad wrap, recycle where we can, pick up rubbish that we walk past, maybe we use keep cups, maybe we're vegetarian. Point being, we all do personally what we can, and now it is clear that the responsibility of saving the earth has shifted to the government, and our people in power are due for some lifestyle changes as well as us on the ground. If we want to see real change, it must be policy change. I'd also like to mention that on the 11th of October, so it's the Friday first week term goes back, at 4 till 6 here at Trades Hall, there is a student-only youth-led action group meeting in which we can network across Ballarat and create action plans. This is the kind of event that you want to be to if you're really serious about things happening. Also, with the marshals, the people in orange, if we just stay in their guard while we're marching as well and follow them. So next we have Ali coming up to talk about the aims of the organisation and its demands. Thanks guys, happy striking.
Thank you. Hello everyone. So today marks the third global climate strike in 2 years and we are tired of speaking to brick walls. Am I right? Maybe it's because we aren't being loud enough, or maybe we're not being clear enough. So today, I'm here to run you through, as well as everyone watching, run everyone through what we're marching for today. We have four reasons why we're marching today, and that is to stop the Adani coal mine, 100% renewables by 2030, no new fossil fuel projects, and a funded transition for workers from non-renewable sources to renewable sources. If you've been marching with us since the first climate strike, these demands will look so similar to you. So why is it that we're still asking for the same stuff 2 years later? We are tired of this one-way conversation taking place. We are ignored because we're too young to really understand what's going on. However, sadly, I am completely aware that we only have 10 years to transition to completely renewable energy, or we'll face the extreme irreversible effects of climate change. In fact, we're already feeling it. Is it not our farms that have been in drought since 2017, our Great Barrier Reef that's been dying, or the rising temperatures worsening weather events like we saw with Hurricane Dorian over in the Bahamas? When I was doing some research and reading, for the speech, I could not find a single article with a positive outlook or a shred of hope. I am brutally honest when I say that I am scared. I am terrified for my future. Today, for the third time, I'm marching to stop the Adani coal mine, for 100% renewables by 2030, for no new fossil fuels, and for a funded transition for workers. But most importantly, I'm marching for our future. Thank you.
Hi, so that's a very hard act to follow. But I'm just going to be walking you through where we are at the moment and where we have been, which is not great. So we are in the thick of a climate crisis. We are right to be angry because we have been failed by government upon government doing nothing. We have known about climate change for 40 years. We have felt its effect for at least the last 20. Currently, record-breaking droughts are ravaging Eastern Australia. Queensland is burning. Inland New South Wales towns are on the brink of collapse. Australia is imploding from climate change, and politicians are not listening. Angus Taylor, for example. Angus Taylor is treating our future like he has treated the Murray-Darling Basin, where 1 million fish have been killed at his hands. We'd love Angus Taylor to turn around and support climate change, to stop lying about the rising carbon emissions in Australia, to embrace a need for urgent change. But until then, shame. Shame on the governments and corporations working against the interests of the people. The inaction of the powerful threatens our future. We should be angry. The Amazon has not stopped burning. It goes on and on, perpetuated by the machine of economic interest above the interests of people. The Amazon's death heralds an era where we are running out of time. Society's inaction has a cost, a tragic and exponential cost, a turmoil of human displacement and of ecological collapse. On the ship of humanity, our leaders are navigating us towards an immeasurable storm. But if we say no, we will not be led down a path where our children's lives are threatened by a climate wildly out of balance, and where their children do not reach old age. We will not build a distorted and twisted future for our children, powerless against inevitable environmental collapse, because past generations did nothing. My generation is on the edge of a cliff. I can see the rise of the past, and I see that we are dangerously close to the fall. Help. That is what we cry out for. We're here because we see little other option. We're here because if we want an actual meaningful climate change plan, we'll have to call for it ourselves. The politicians started by not listening to us. Now they are, but only to say to go back to school. What do we think of that? This is an urgent crisis. We have little over 10 years to avoid the worst of the damages we face. Such a grave emergency warrants direct and immediate action. It warrants a protest, because everybody should stop in the face of climate change, in the face of the climate emergency, and be scared enough that they want to act to fix it. Most of all, the politicians. Fix it now. It's not our generation that has caused this emergency. We're disappointed. It's us that have to fix it. People of power, listen to us. Listen to the science and act accordingly. Treat climate change as the impending catastrophe it is. So no more Adani project. Stop the nonsense of supporting fossil fuel projects that aren't even viable. Instead, support a transition for workers towards a renewable economy and implement 100% renewable. Do so quickly, for our sake and our children's. We don't have much time. I've learnt enough about this government and this world's inactions in the face of climate change to know that we need to be out here demanding better. This is an immense crisis, and we are the solution. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to thank everybody for showing up today. It's really amazing to see so many people turn up for such an important cause. Secondly, I would like to thank the organising committee in ensuring this event could happen today and for inviting me to speak. As outlined, there are many ways the Australia and the global communities has failed to take action on climate change. However, it is easy to focus on the negative. Quite frankly, there is a lot of it. But we must channel that sadness and grief and the anger into action. We should be inspired by the positive movements along with the negative. One of the most positive movements we are witnessing is the switch to renewables. Whilst the openings of mines such as Adani show a failure by our government, we are still making progress. And with power like this, we will continue. Currently in Australia, 20% of electricity is generated through renewables. Whilst this number is low, it is a growing one, with a 3.7% growth between 2017 and 18. Whilst this movement is not fast enough, I'm sure with people like us, it will be moving faster. Some individual states have been leading the way. Over 90% of electricity generated in Tasmania is done by renewables. In South Australia, over 50% of the power is generated by renewables. This movement is a huge step for Australia, and whilst we still have a lot of room for growth, this is a step in the right direction. We are here to make sure the government accelerates this process. For the movement to continue, it is important for us to take action. We need to continue to put pressure on businesses and governments to use renewables and encourage other people to do so. Additionally, there's been a worldwide movement to ban single-use of plastics, with several countries, including India, moving to ban them entirely. India banning single-use plastic is not only huge for our climate, but also for our oceans. They are currently one of the largest producers of waste, and their choice to reduce it is nothing short of monumental. Whilst Australia is yet to ban single-use plastic altogether, some states have made progress. South Australia is planning on introducing legislation that will ban plastic straws, cutlery, drink stirrers, polyester takeaway containers, and coffee cups. It is up to us to ensure this legislation is passed and for us to put pressure on these changes to happen Australia-wide. We must continue to push these changes further and cannot stop at banning single-use plastic straws because we cannot afford. We only have 10 years. We are rapidly running out of time, but the cause is not yet hopeless. Australia is still behind other countries and is not making the changes we need in order to ensure a safe environment and future. However, this does not mean we are not doing anything and that the world is not doing anything. We are making movements in the right directions, and it's us to ensure these movements continue to happen. It is clear by the looks on everyone's faces here today that we demand change to happen. The future is ours, and with a group of people like they are here today, you can lead the changes, and I can tell that the future is in safe hands. Thank you.
So I'm just going to run you guys through the chants again while we locate the megaphone, and then we can get protesting. So the first one is, no more coal, no more oil, keep your carbon in the soil. If everyone wants to repeat that with me. So no more coal, no more oil, keep your carbon in the soil. No more coal, no more oil, keep your carbon in the soil. And the second one we've got, no more corporate greed, renewables are what we need. No more corporate greed, renewables are what we need. No more renewables are what we need. And then we've got earth cannot be bought and sold, life is worth much more than gold. Earth cannot be bought and sold, life is worth much more than gold. Earth cannot be bought and sold, life is worth much more than gold. And lastly, we've got waters rise, hear our cries, no more time for business ties. Waters rise, hear our cries, no more time for business ties. Waters rise, hear our cries, no more time for business ties. We need to shout these loud. We want everyone to hear us.